Alright, so here I have a part pulled up that I'm just going to use for doing my example on. This is just a part for a fish finder mount to go on my kayak. But it's a great example part just because it's simple and we're only going to be cutting out these holes. So um, basically the way you want to start it is you want to go from left to right, start with defining machine. We will go to our machine, make sure that we are on a mill that's in standard inches. It's only a 3-axis mill. We don't have a 4 or 5-axis mill, and it's not a turn machine. So it's a standard 3-axis mill. Tool crib, if you want to go in here and add any tools or edit any of your tools, you can go ahead and do that. It's already a pretty extensive tool crib, 18 tools in there. I'm sure we have more, and I'm sure we'll be adding more, but that's good for now. On post processor, we want to go to Mach 3 G54 and hit OK on that. And we want to establish our coordinate system. I already established my coordinate system, but I'll go ahead and do it again. So I selected that central point as our entity, and then it's going to ask me which direction I want the x-axis to go in. So that's here, and then it's going to ask me which direction I want the y-axis to go in. That's here. And then that'll automatically put the z where it's supposed to go. So we'll check mark it there. And that's the general orientation that I use on the mill on the controller as well, so it matches. Now we'll go to our stock manager, and we're going to make sure that we have the right stock that we're using. Here it's asking for material. It's telling me that it's going to be 6061 aluminum. I'm not going to use 6061 aluminum. I will just call it nylon just for ease of use. And then I am going to go to setup. And under setup, this is where we're going to create our mill setup. So it's going to ask us which plane we want to be cutting on, which for this one, since we're cutting through here, we want to be cutting on this plane. And select that, and then we are going to extract our machinable features. It's going to go ahead and pull all those out, and right here, I'm going to go to the mill part setup. I will set up my X and Y, and I will add a 2.5 axis feature. So now that I'm here, I'm going to come in here, and I just want to select each one of these holes, and it's going to choose those for entities. And then we're going to call it a pocket type hole. I don't want to be doing a drilling operation just because it makes more sense to do this all with an end mill because it's more accurate. Then it's going to ask us for an end condition. So we're going to go to our end condition. And now you can see that whenever you drop it down, it's got the tool punching through almost twice the width of this piece of stock, which we don't want to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to go offset from face on here. I'm going to choose this bottom face, and then I'm just going to put it 0.01 off from that face so that it punches through and gets through it, but it doesn't create any issues. Now from here, I'm going to go generate operation plan. It's going to come up with a couple tool paths for me. And I don't need the rough mill, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that one. But I do need the contour mill. So I'm going to generate that tool path, and now you can see that basically it just goes to each one of these holes and spirals on down it and makes all the holes. From here, we can simulate the tool path, and I've got it set it pretty quick here, but I'll just single step it. play it. You can go ahead and fast forward through this if you'd like, but it's kind of cool to come down here and make sure that on this last pass it is punching all the way through, and we'll be able to see that on the next one. You can see it just gets right below that bottom surface by that 0.01 offset that we set. It's going to go through and it's going to do this for each one of these holes, and it automatically optimizes the path for least distance, so we don't have to worry about that. So you can see now it's all done. We'll go ahead and check mark that, and we will now post-process it, since it did exactly what we wanted it to do. To post-process it, since we just want to do that one individual toolpath, we'll just go post-process under right-clicking on that toolpath, and then I've already got it here, so I'll just rename it. And normally this is where it's going to ask for the file path to post that G-code to. So normally we would have the USB in here, and it would upload it to the USB, and then you take the USB over, stick it into the mill, and go from there. But since I don't have the USB on here, I'm just doing it right in the folder and dropping it in there for observational purposes. And I'll be able to move it from there later. So I'll go ahead and save that. And then this is pretty important. You want to make sure that you step this all the way through, and that would be this play arrow. It'll take it all the way through. Otherwise, it's only going to upload the code that is in this window. If it's not in this window, it's not going to upload it. So you want to keep that in mind. Make sure you do that. Otherwise, you will have nothing in that file. And that's it. You're ready to rumble and cut out some parts.